Hi, Emily.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm so good.
Good. Here with Emily Sachs Wong, one of the top real estate agents in the city of Chicago. Just wanted to have a quick chat with you. We've known each other now for 18, almost 19 years.
Yeah,
2005.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
thank you. And just wanted to kind of pick your brain a little bit about real estate and just kind of figure out if you can give any insight to other agents in the market as well. So why don't you start by just telling us how long you've been doing this and kind of why you got in the business?
Yeah, I've told this story before. I've been in the business for 27 years, although I can't believe that sounds like I'm 100. But I wanted to get out of catering and I wanted to be able to go have lunch all the time. And the story goes, there is no lunch in real estate other than when driving in the car. So.
Yeah, I think I've tried to get you out to lunch about 1,000 times in the last 18 years unsuccessfully. So I get that.
Thank you for that, though. We've had a couple lunches.
So what do you like most about being an agent?
Well, at first people say, "Oh, do you love your flexibility?" There is no flexibility in real estate unless you turn away business. But I love the fast-paced nature of the business, and that's just for me personally. I like to always be doing something, and then I love that people get to help people buy houses where they make like the most important memories of their lives.
Right. Yeah, I think that's important because it is the single biggest decision that people make in their lives, right? And you like to be a part of that.
It's fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
What advice would you give to buyers and sellers like in this market where they might say to you, should I wait? Should I wait a couple months for interest rates to go down or whatever? Like what advice are you giving to both buyers and sellers?
Well, I tell you, I know real estate. I don't know the stock market so well, and I know that anytime I try to time the stock market, it's never the right time. So you have to buy in at the time that you want. And if you want to buy a house right now, now is the time. If you want to sell your house, now is the time. Mm-hmm. Even when the market went really down at the end of 2008 and the beginning of 2009, things sold for a fair price, and people got to get in at a good price and people got to sell at a good price. So people that think that rates are super high right now, I bought my first house at the same rate, and it wasn't in a different era of time. It was not so long ago. So I'd say now is the time.
Right. Well, and people will always find the motivation to buy, right? Moving up, moving down, growing the family, So I feel like in this kind of market lends itself to pretty much any buyer still, right?
And you can always refinance, and you do a great job at doing that.
Thank you. Yeah.
And you've done that for a lot of my clients.
Yeah.
They've gotten to save a lot of money over the years.
Right, and that's the narrative that we're telling people is that if you want to get in now, and then we can always refinance you down the road.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Now you have a really good team.
I do.
And I think that's kind of the backbone of your business, right? So what advice would you give to people about how important it is to build out a team? And I know that it's not been easy to do that over the years, right? So
right, you have to want to be a manager, and that's not what I'm good at. I'm good at being a real estate broker. But I think that the most important thing you can do is to get an assistant that really works, that you work well with, and that works well with you, and that's your backbone. That's the most important thing. You'll know if you need a team if between you and your assistant there's still overflow, there's still work to do. Don't do it too late or you'll miss out on business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of times what I tell people similarly is that you almost can't afford not to have someone help you.
There's no question. I knew that I needed an assistant within a few months of starting in the business. Mm-hmm. And it was hard because it was money out of my pocket, and it's money out of your pocket, but it's the best money you'll ever spend.
That's awesome. And I know a huge part of your business is the luxury side of things. So did you make a kind of conscious decision when you were starting out that that's kind of where you wanted to be? Or has that just been a progression of the business?
Well, it's definitely where I wanted to be, but you helped me sell out an entire project that was not luxury. We had 60 units of something that wasn't luxury, but from there people upgrade, and it's the best thing. So start where you can. My first place I ever sold was a $67,000 studio, and those people move and they upgrade, and if you take care of them properly, you will upgrade with them.
Right. I remember you telling me very early on that the best advertising you ever did was just getting your name on a sign on a block in Lincoln Park and then one turned into two and turned into three,
Right.
and then that's how it goes. So
Right, you need signs out there. They're incredibly important. They have to have your name on them, and you have to also do an amazing job for that person, regardless of the price.
Right.
And that's still my motto today.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask you if you still would recommend that to agents now, is just trying to get your name out there as much as possible.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
that and open houses, that will be the best time and money that you spend,
Yeah.
as long as you do them properly. If you go to your open house and you're slouched on the couch and you're staring at your telephone, it's a waste of your time. But if you go and you're knowledgeable about the neighborhood and you know everything about the house and you're kind and happy, it will be the best 2 hours you can spend.
Right. It always amazes me at open houses how disengaged the agent is, and their job is to sell that property, right? So they're not making you feel all warm and fuzzy like you should when you walk in there, right? As a buyer's agent.
It's a huge thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I've noticed that lately you've really beefed up your social media, and I know that wasn't easy for you to do and be on camera all the time. So how important has that been, to your business?
I think it's the second tier of my branding myself. My first tier was creating a logo and getting that out there so that my name and my logo was recognizable. And I did that in, many, many years ago I did that. And then from there, this is that next set. And anyone that's been in the business that hasn't stepped up into social media marketing, it's here and it's now. And customers are saying it's the most important decision that they're using when making decisions. So the most important thing, they are saying, I need to make sure my property is getting out to the world and not just small segments of the market.
Right, right. Now, do you think that social media can be used at all price points, right? Because obviously not everybody watching this is going to have multi-million-dollar listings, right? So, how would you say it's equally as important on a $200,000 listing as it is on a $2 million listing?
Or more so even,
Yeah.
because the people that are watching those $200,000 listings are the people who are actually on Instagram. Whereas, let's say my grandmother, who might be buying a multi-million-dollar property, if that's the case, then they're likely not on social media. But I think you've got to do it for everyone in between, because you never know who's on it. I actually just got a phone call yesterday from like a grandmother age saying she saw my social media and she loved it and she was incredibly kind to have made that call. So I think everyone who is understanding how people view things and take content in is getting on social media.
Right. I think I remember the first video that I ever filmed. I realized that my nostrils were two different sizes, and it was like bugging me. So I think that one of the common complaints I hear from people about starting in social media and filming themselves is just how they look on camera, right?
Well,
and I think you have to get over that, right? You just have to be you, and that's what you're selling is you, right? People want to work with you because of your personality and because of who you are.
Thanks for being authentic with that. People like that.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So one of the fun kind of questions I like to ask people is, if you could have one last meal on earth, what would it be?
Oh my gosh, well, I happen to love Asian food. I married a Chinese guy, and
You did?
I love barbecue pork egg foo young. It is such a weird thing that comes from me eating in Chinatown in the 70s, and it's my favorite thing to eat, and it's very difficult to find.
Is that like a char siu?
No, it's literally like bean sprouts and egg and barbecue pork or kind of shrimp in it or whatever you want. And then it has like a brown gravy over it. It's very Cantonese, and it's like comfort food. It's probably like macaroni and cheese for people, but it's literally my favorite food. I've eaten it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and sometimes midnight snacks over the years. But it's probably my favorite thing next to a hot pretzel and cheese.
I do like pretzels, yeah. And I notice on social media you've been sometimes you cook. What's your favorite thing to cook?
Heath chip cookies. It's my specialty. That and egg rolls. I won an egg roll contest once in college, so it was a
Homemade egg
recipe.
rolls?
Yeah.
I'll have to get that recipe.
Yeah, it's a goodie.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for your time
Thank
today.
you.
All right.